and welcome to another in the Ask the Data Governance Coach video series. And today's question is one that a client asked me. I was spending some time with the team talking about a lot of things around data governance, and they said to me, so it's all very well, Nicola, we kind of know that we have to have a data governance council or committee, but what problems does it really solve? And I thought this was a really good question and one that I wanted to address in a video. So I think it's very easy in the early days of setting up data governance to focus very much on thinking of your data governance council or committee as almost like the steering group. And that is what it is in the early days. It is deciding, are you implementing the right framework? They've got that oversight. They're helping you plan what next, what phases do we do next? But once you get past that initial phase, I think it's a really relevant point to say, well, what do they do then? Because it's not this setup phase of data governance anymore. We're now into business as usual. And I think that there are a number of things that they do or problems that they solve, to put it in the language of my client. So firstly, I think they're all about there. It really helps with the accountability, the roles and responsibilities. If I met you and agreed with you today that you were a data owner, and then, you did some initial work and then I didn't keep talking to you, the chances are you'd forget that you were a data owner and you'd stop doing anything that I'd asked you to do. So I think having the Data Governance Council really helps that accountability, keeps the roles going on, and really helps us be able to communicate with our data owners the importance of perhaps encouraging their data stewards to keep doing their data governance activities. I think also they're a great place for escalating problems, disagreements. So it could be, data quality issues that we can't solve because there's perhaps too big an obstacle in the way. We can get that escalated up to the Data Governance Council. You've got there a committee of data owners. So you've got the peers there that can all debate and discuss what needs to be done and what is the right approach for dealing with things. I think next up, I suppose it's a way of, they put the spotlight on hidden problems. I like to say quite a lot that it's not really a good career move to go and say to your boss, oh, that report I just gave you, the data on it is rubbish. I wouldn't trust it. So we don't. We run around, we do the data wrangling I've talked about before, and then we hand over a report and keep our fingers crossed that they don't make a disastrous decision based on it. But I think once we've got the data governance framework in place, we've got the structure, we've got the processes, and more importantly, in our data council, we've got the right people in place to actually escalate, highlight these issues to. Most senior people are totally unaware of the amount of data wrangling we do or the number of data problems we fix on a day-to-day basis. And I think this is one thing that the Data Governance Council or committee gives us, is a place to highlight these, make these visible so that they can decide. So quite often we don't fix problems because nobody senior enough knows about them. We might not be able to, or we might decide not to, but they've been made visible and a decision has been made rather than it carrying on like this because it always has been, which I think is really important. If you've watched any of my other videos and things, you'll know I always say it's important to have executive sponsor. Well, I think this takes it to the next level. Having a data governance council, by definition, expands from having just one sponsor who's promoting it to a whole council or committee of data owners who all get it and all should be championing data governance. So they're helping with the data culture across your whole organization. And then finally, I think you've got a great crowd of senior stakeholders attending such forums, and they're in a really good position to ensure that how we do data governance at our organization really helps us manage risk and compliance. And they're kind of the key things. Obviously, I try and keep these videos short and succinct, but I did write a blog on this issue, on this same topic last week. You can find that on my website, which is just nicolaaskham.com. And in that one, I look at the difference between what perhaps Data Governance Council solve and also versus a data domain forum, which I found that a number of my larger, perhaps global, more complex organizations have decided to do because having one forum is just not feasible in really large, complicated companies. So I hope you have found that useful. If you have, please help me on my mission to help as many people as possible be successful with data governance by liking, sharing, subscribing to this channel. Everything you do really helps me get that message out there and help stop people making the mistakes I did all those years ago. So I hope you have found that useful. If you've got a question you'd like me to answer in one of these videos, please just email it in to questions@nicolaascombe.com and I'll be back here again soon.